quite interesting about that is then some people might make assumptions that it's not for them.
Yeah.
Because it's open to everyone,
Yeah.
then it can't be serious art, or it's not.
They're
it's
excluding themselves because it's too broad for them, and
yes, and they want it to be a special thing.
Mm.
So that's the thing that I've been thinking about quite a lot. Is, for example, collectors often don't want to be looking at the exhibition with everybody else, and we're very interested in where we can selling work to collectors, but not in a way that shapes the rest of the experience for everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's quite an interesting.
So you don't adapt you don't adapt it for just the buyers or the collectors.
No.
You kind of keep it. Do you do a separate thing for them if they?
Well, I think that's one of that's the almost contradiction.
Yeah.
That we might actually end up having, a collector's morning or something like that. What we do currently is we say the exhibitions are open at particular times or by appointment.
Okay.
So that gives people the option to come at a time when the public isn't here. But that doesn't happen very much. And the other thing about collectors is that they like to be kind of wined and dined and feel special.
Yeah.
That kind of experience of being on the VIP list.
And as much as the commercial aspect is important to the gallery, I think we want to be able to for everyday people to have art as well. So we often have what we call a space capsule, so an affordable art edition of lots of the exhibitions. So anybody can own a piece of art. It's not just an elitist kind of collectors kind of thing.
Yeah. So you keep it very the audience, the audience and the viewers are so broad. Like it's each end of the spectrum. So you do have some challenges on how to accommodate everybody.
Yeah.
Like you intimidate some people on one side, and
it's a juggle.
It's just figuring out how you do it. How does the organisation document its activities and productions? Do you have an accessible archive?
We would like to have a much more accessible archive. So again, it's something that the website kind of has.
Our website's quite clunky. It's done well, but
yeah, it's like everything. The technology's now completely changed, by which we might hold an archive, and I think the intention was always that we would try and add as much as we could to each exhibition's each project's sort of what's in the. There's potential to have a gallery of images there, but just the sheer work relating to trying to do that for everything that we do means that you just can't always.
But you probably have the material. You probably have all the documentation.
Well, we have. This is our first 10 or 11 years, probably.
Okay.
And then some projects have their own folder as well. So we certainly have an archive, and on all of this is all digital JPEG. So we used to have, again, we had a slideshow on the computer that we could take out and sort of do when we did a talk, we'd have a rolling slideshow of things. And again, that's fairly easy to update, but it still requires work to keep it fresh.
So you do have archive. You're just thinking of new ways of how you
certainly have a physical archive. And there's certainly a web presence on our website that you can go back 11 years, 12 years, and you can see everything that's happened, but you might not be able to, browse all of browse the images and all of the exhibition pictures. But
a large number of your exhibitions work with themes of sexuality, gender, and identity. Is this something you encourage as a gallery? I remember before you were saying you don't particularly encourage one, like anything. You're kind of always keeping it, but
it is something that's very close to your heart.
Yeah, I mean, both Rachel House and myself happen to be bisexual ourselves, so I guess that brings a way of looking at the world with us as artists and as people. And I suppose we've both been involved in organising things around things like Pride and HIV, feminist things. So, and I think we kind of bring all of that with us when we're thinking about how to organise exhibitions. So it's just there, and it's not that you kind of want to say we're going to do this because, and we wouldn't try and. I think what we've avoided is having themed exhibitions where, you know, gender or, I mean, there are no. That's we've said yes to exhibitions where gender was definitely a focus, like Music and Liberation, which was a history, a retrospective look at women's activist liberation music practice from the 70s and 80s through a particular fantastic writer and theorist called Deborah Withers, who curated the project. But we wouldn't, I think what we wouldn't do is kind of reverse engineer that and try and create the exhibition because of the theme in that in a way. We would try and we would look at what was interesting.
I think it's actually something that the gallery would like to offer a platform for, but not exclusively because it is about those things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know if that answers your
No, it does perfectly. Thank you. How is Space Station 65 funded?
Really privately through my and Rachel's own funds, supplemented with whatever we could get from whoever would give us money, which I think is how most artist-run things start, and probably not lots of cases carry on. We've come to a point where when we moved here, we set up a limited company to basically to sublet part of the site to other people to bring in income to pay for other things, and to pay particularly for the sort of artistic programme. And we're in a process of investigating some form of not-for-profit structure for the gallery, and probably for some of the studio units that we
status and things.
Yeah.
Is it a profit or not a not-for-profit concern?
Well, what we've been trying to do is straddle both.
Yeah.
Which
how's that been working out?
Well, I think what tends to happen is that you tend to be drawn to focus on what you're more interested in.
Yeah.
And for us, so far, that has definitely been the artistic side of things, and the curation and artistic practice, and not the business side of things. Okay. And I think where we are now is we've got a business manager helping us, and he's just kind of painstakingly sort of going through things to help us think about how we can be more efficient and bring more income in.
About making the non-profitable things profitable.
Yes.
So we don't have to compromise.
Exactly, and not sort of saying, well, we have to do it this way so that we, so it's more commercial, but how we can exploit what we're doing to be more effective.
We kind of touched on this earlier.
And I should just mention we are getting some help from a great facility called Lawyers Volunteering for the Arts, which enables arts organisations to get pro bono legal advice. So that's helping us get to our charitable or not-for-profit status. And they recently helped Peckham Space become Peckham Platform. And I think one of the things that we never know is where the difficulties in any project is going to be.
Yeah.
So when you start, you sort of think, well, we've done this a bit before, so we know how to do it. And there's always going to be different things and different personalities and skills that they bring or don't bring.
Yeah.
And you're kind of, however well prepared you are, you're learning as you go along with how to work with these particular people, or this curator or whatever, the shipper that they're using, or there's myriad details in each project, and with Northern Souls, there was the local person here. One of the curators is very local, and one of them is in Finland.
Okay.
So we have this kind of perfect situation in the sense that we've got this international link. We met them both, and it was quite a
They came to one of our openings and introduced themselves.
and
Like you said earlier, that's the better way of working with people. You come to the gallery space, and it kind of happens like that.
It happens quite a natural, organic process, and also I think they were very concerned about the experience for everyone being as good as it could be, and they chose the artists that they chose for a number of criteria, which we understood later on were how well do we work together was one of them. So that was very good, and it's I think one of our most enjoyable experiences as an organisation to work.
It's been a delight.